All right, let's turn to America because keep the sheep. We're going to have a chat in a moment or two about that. I know you're all in on that. Matt, no doubt, will be out there tomorrow when plenty of people are there for the big protest. But this poll, obviously everything gets reset when it comes to the debate. But Sam, Trump nationally, 2 points up. It's not 1 point because it's not a two-horse race. There's multiple other candidates. The places where he's up as well. Look, surprise, surprise, coasts love her and everywhere else he's got a massive gap. And literally, he has a stronger vote with women than she has with men.
Yeah, the interesting part for me in that poll, because I think you talk to a lot of Americans and it's reflected back to you, the interesting part for me from that poll is you go down a few questions and 30% of Americans say they don't know enough about Kamala Harris to make their minds up, which when you think through a normal presidential cycle, you've been through 20 different presidential debates, you're a national figure. She's been the vice president and people inside the bubble know her very, very well. People outside of the bubble, they are saying loud and clear, like 40% of Hispanics, 40% of blacks say they don't know anything about her. They're remarkable numbers. So, the debate coming up really is an opportunity for her to educate the public and introduce herself to the public about who she is.
There's also, Matt, again, my suggestion, not that I have anything other than the seat that I have many thousands of kilometres away, is that the rules are great for Trump because the mic on, mic off stuff just forces him into a level of discipline. It also denies her that moment of, I'm speaking, all of that. So he can kind of mogadon through this. He doesn't need to knock her out because the reality is if it's tending his way, she word salads a little bit, but more importantly, he doesn't monster her in the political sense, then we go back to where we were the day before the debate, which was when he's winning.
Yeah, well, Trump's a big boxing fan, of course, so I think knowing that he probably won't try and throw a lot of haymakers in the final round if he's ahead on points. You're probably right there. Look, I think mostly when you look back at elections, debates actually aren't that definitive. Obviously, the last debate was an exception to that rule, but we're probably going to just have something like a status quo. And as I've been saying on your program for months here, Kamala is not a good candidate for the Midwest. And this poll shows that, and this election will be decided in the Midwest.
Well, important to note too, again, super nerdy point inside this poll, 60% of Americans say the country's headed in the wrong direction, 55% of people say Harris is more of the same. So if you've got that crossover and Trump represents change, I know there's other polls that say that he represents extreme change. Again, this is the whole fundamental thing that's been building for 4 years.
No, I hear what you're saying. I genuinely think that I would take that question with a grain of salt. When you're trying to poll the likely likely electorate that's turning out to vote, questions like that are extremely difficult. I mean, Kamala Harris's whole strategy is the same that Obama's was. That she wants to enlarge it with first-time voters, young voters, people that don't traditionally report to the polls. It's not like in Australia where we know what the college is that's turning up. It's the same election to election.
And also important to note too here that abortion, in terms of ranked issues now, is equal. In fact, I think it's a little ahead of immigration at this election. But of course, economy double or everything. Thank you, lads. Do appreciate.